What's up and welcome to my week 2 of my theory thing. If you haven't seen week 1, there's a link somewhere around here. Now, in week 1, we just explored the absolute fundamentals of the musical alphabet and the major and relative minor scale. Now, what we're going to do is actually just expand on all that stuff today. So we're looking at intervals, we're looking at scales, we touch on modes, even though I probably spend a bit too much time talking about them, but it's just to give you an understanding that all these things are interrelated, and once you kind of start knocking over one, the next domino starts falling, and it's kind of easy to get a lot of information out of just a little bit. Next week, we'll be looking at chords, and in chords, that's where I need to give you all the information, because when you understand chords and how they're built out of a scale, then it's very, very easy to start figuring out your own stuff, like figuring out songs you're writing, how to make them sound good, but also figure out what other people are doing, because quite simply, everyone uses it. It doesn't make any sense not to. So I hope you enjoy week 2, and this is all building to week 3. So make sure that you understand this and then move on to the next one. Ignore that. It's my girlfriend's Halloween costume that she won't throw out. So just to make sure that there's no confusion, here we are with the musical alphabet again, and we're just going to build the A minor scale from this musical alphabet and then get some more information out of it. I have chosen to remove the flats that exist here, everywhere where there's a sharp. If you're not sure of the sharps and flats and that stuff, watch the last video. This stuff all kind of piggybacks onto one another, but it's just easier to write it like this. I'm not going to be using flats anyway, or the sharps, but it's just a visual reference for the moment. With the A minor scale, once again, we're just taking out all the notes in the A minor scale. So we've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G. After there, it just repeats. This is the same. So of the 12 notes that exist on a guitar or a piano or a flute or whatever, it just repeats when you get to the end of the musical alphabet. It doesn't matter if you start at D, it goes all the way up to C sharp and then repeats at D. Okay, this is just a revolving thing that keeps on going forever. And today I am only talking about normal scales, normal 7-note scales that exist in the standard C major, A minor type of field. I'm not talking about pentatonics, I'm not talking about 4-note scales, I'm not talking about 6, 8, or 12-note scales, right? It's just these 7-note scales that we're doing today. The rest is complicated and for another video. You may have heard of intervals, and that's kind of going to be the main focus today, is understanding intervals and what they mean. Now, for those of you who watched last episode, you may already be putting together that intervals are likely to be the scale degrees that we discussed before. And I'm just going to write out the scale degrees and the intervals that are here. Logically thinking, from A to B, that's a second. From A to C is a third. From A to D is a fourth. Once again, it doesn't matter where you're starting from. If you're starting from C, a second is to D, a third is to E, a fourth is to F, okay? It's the same idea. It's just how far the distance is between two notes. When we get to the point where it repeats, when we've got A, B, C, D, whatever, it just keeps going. A, the octave, 8. That's why sometimes you will see 8 VA on a manuscript or something. It means up an octave, okay? B becomes 9, C becomes 10, D becomes 11, right? Why is this important? Because every single melody you've ever heard comes from some use of intervals, okay? It's absolutely fundamental to what we do as a musician. One thing to think about is if you're writing a melody or you're trying to figure something out and things aren't quite working right, try a different interval. Maybe your melody goes 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Da. Right, I don't know if that's starting on an A, but that's a minor chord, right? Boring. Maybe you want to do 1, 3, 4, 5, 1. Da. Right? Immediately, you're just playing around with the stuff that you've got easy access to, but you're getting a totally different sound. Of this, there are 3 perfect intervals, and everything else is either a minor or a major. I'm not going to get into diminished and augmented intervals in this. They do exist, but it's for another time. It's not this fundamental. All right, what a perfect interval is means that it does not have any particular mood or quality like that to it. A perfect fourth sounds like this. All right, it doesn't sound happy or sad, it just kind of exists. They sound nice together, that's about it. A fifth is this. straightforward. Now, if we wanted to, we could include in brackets 8 there, but that's just like playing the 12th fret like this. Okay, the rest are either minor or major intervals. Of 2s, 3s, 6s, and 7s, including my little typo there, we've got a minor and a major of each interval. So I'm going to start from 1 and play up the minor intervals, and then I'll play up the major intervals. You just feel which one sounds happier or which one sounds sad. And then that's kind of all there is to that specific part. It's just one sounds happier, one sounds sadder, and the sadness or happiness usually is in relation to whatever else is going on in the music, not just that specific moment. A tone is 2 frets, a semitone is 1 fret. From the musical alphabet here, we're going to do the A minor scale yet again, but we're going to build it out of a pattern of tones and semitones. Now just work with me here and try and anticipate what I'm about to say, because if you can get this, then memorization of any scale is going to be really easy, okay? Knowing that the first note is A, fantastic, this is easy, we've been over it 1,000 times now. If we go from the open string on the A string to the next fret, what do you think would be the next thing? The next note out of all of the notes in the musical alphabet. All right, of course it's going to be A sharp. Good work if you got that right. If you didn't get that right, that's okay. That's why I'm making this video, so you know this stuff. But we know that the next note in the A minor scale is B. So we need to go 2 frets, okay? A semitone is how many frets? 1 fret, good. A tone is how many frets? 2 frets, fantastic. So we know the distance from A to B is a tone, okay? Distance from B to C, how far is that? Do you think that that's 1 fret away or 2 frets away? If you said 1 fret, fantastic. C. All right, now I'm just going to fill this in where the A minor is, and then I'm going to put in a little bracketed A here to finish off the scale. Then going D to C, tone or a semitone? D to E, tone or a semitone? E to F, tone or a semitone? F to G, tone or a semitone? G to A, tone or a semitone? Okay, so I'm going to fill it out because I don't know if you've got these answers right, but here's the answers. We've got the A minor scale, and we now know that the pattern is tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. Okay, and that brings us back to home. Okay, and then we repeat that over and over and over again. No matter how many times up or down, this pattern never changes for an A minor scale. So long as you're starting on the key that you're in, start on that note, you follow this pattern of tones and semitones, and you cannot play a wrong note. Play notes that feel awkward, because like the sixths can be hard to make work sometimes. You're not going to be playing any wrong notes. Let's do this same thing in C major. All right, so here's the musical alphabet again. Once again, let's pull the C major scale out of it. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay, and let's do the same thing. So what's the distance between C and D? Between D and E, E and F, F and G, G and A and B, B and C. In brackets there, C, because it's the octave, it's also this note. Right, so by now, I hope you've got it, but it's tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay, so this means that now we've got the pattern of tones and semitones for any major scale, right? If we start on C sharp and we go tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, we've got our C sharp major scale, okay? So it doesn't matter where you start. Start on F, follow this same pattern, and you're going to get a F major scale. This is how simple music theory can be. It's just learning this fundamental stuff kind of can be, you got to memorize it, and people, when they know it, it's so easy once you've memorized it, but it's very complicated when you haven't memorized it. So just take the time to try and memorize this stuff, and you'll start seeing so many more patterns that you weren't able to see before. Now that we've got that, I'm going to write these patterns out. So for the minor scale, man, I hope you can see this on this thing. My handwriting is terrible. Tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. And then for the major, tone, semitone. Got it wrong. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Why did I write it out like this? To be honest, if I had better handwriting, it would make more sense. We know that this note is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We know that A minor is the relative minor of C major, okay? So if we know that, we know that this is C, D, E, F, G, A, B. If you're not following, watch the last episode because we go over all this stuff in there, okay? If we just chuck in a couple of notes in brackets backwards and forwards of these to line it all up, let's go in brackets here, B, A, right? And A, B, in brackets. What do you think happens, right? We start getting this pattern where this is all exactly the same. And what do you know? If we add this stuff on the top, we've got the exact same. So we've got here, tone, semitone, here, tone, semitone. So what that means is that this pattern of tone, tone, semitone, whatever, is always the same when we're using modes, okay? Now, I am only going to touch on modes here because modes can be a very complicated topic and this is not the right platform for that. I mean, YouTube is a fantastic platform for modes, but this video itself, we're going to go there just a little bit. This is all connected. So what that means is that if you start playing this pattern of tones and semitones, playing only the notes in the C major scale from a different reference point, you're automatically getting a different way that the music can express itself because you're immediately having a different place of home, right? If home in Greece feels different to home in New York City, it's because it is different, okay? This is what we're talking about here. C major has a different home than A minor. Even though we're using the same notes, it's because the reference points, right? We go outside, there's a Starbucks, there's a, what I've never been to New York, but there's a fashion model and there's some banker guy and there's some hobo. You go to Greece and you've got this, beautiful Santorini thing. It's a different mood. It's totally, totally different. It's a different feeling. Everything is different, even though you've still got the same ingredients. You've still got bricks, you've still got people, you've still got nature, you've still got some type of human intervention into nature. It's the same ingredients, just different mood, okay? You get my point. To write all this out in another piece of paper, I had to edit this because I stuffed up twice. God damn it. So, we've got our modes. First one is Ionian, also known as major. They are exactly the same. Next is Dorian. Next is Phrygian. Yep. I can't spell. Phrygian. Next is Lydian. Next is Mixolydian. Next is Aeolian, which is also the minor. I can't spell. Minor. And then the last is Locrian. Now these, if I'm not mistaken, are all different cities in Greece from way back when they were inventing this crap. We know that Ionian, or the major scale, has C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then finishes with C. Dorian, guess what it has? D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Phrygian, guess what it is? E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Right, are you noticing a pattern here? These are all exactly the same notes, but with a different home. Okay? Lydian, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Mixolydian, starting from G. Aeolian's A. Locrian is B. Okay? So this is exactly the same. I can keep repeating this out, but you get the idea. Okay? Now, the only thing to note is these are identified by this. So if you're playing in D Dorian, you know that the first note is Dorian and you copy this pattern from it, right? If you're in A Aeolian, same thing. The final example I'm going to give today is the tone, tone, semitone, whatever pattern. And it's going to look very much like this. Modes in tones. Man, I can't even read my handwriting. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, and then we're back. All right, so just for reference, this is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, okay?
And this tone is to get to the next one. So underneath it to skip to the next one, okay? So we need to go a semitone from B to get to the next one. Dorian is tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, tone. Okay, so this one is traveling over here. Lydian is semitone. I forgot Phrygian. Phrygian. Here. Semitone. Tone, 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 semitone, tone, tone. Lydian here is tone, 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 semitone, tone, tone, semitone. Mixolydian here is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, tone. All right. Aeolian, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. Okay. And Locrian, finally, we've got semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, tone.
So I hope that was clear. If that wasn't clear, either watch it again and try and understand it, try and copy the exercises and answer the questions that you've got for yourself. Because this is not supposed to be something that is just easy to learn. My goal is to make you memorize this stuff, because if you memorize this, then it doesn't really matter where you are or what you're doing. You know what you should be doing next, okay? So that is it for this week. Give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscribe. Any questions you've got, either leave them in the comments below or contact me via email, which is below, and book a lesson if you really feel you need to, but the content is here. So give this video another watch, maybe watch the first video again. Either wait a week or in a week it'll be out, so just watch the next video as well. Maybe some things will make more sense when you've kind of bitten off a bit more than you can chew, but it answers these questions. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next episode.